as we bring him in to talk NFL playoffs, Puka Nacua, and much more. Austin, that was awesome, man. One of my favorite appearances on the show ever.
No shirt, right? No shirt. Put on even more weight. Put on even more weight after the holidays. So we're doing no shirt today. Not feeling as confident.
That was your choice, not ours. Let's talk about Puka Nacua. Breaks the rookie receiving records in yards and catches in the NFL. We knew he was a special receiver, but oh my gosh, the fact that he actually breaks all these records and has this year, what have you seen from him that has surprised you in any way, and what have you thought of the greatest season by any rookie receiver in the history of the league?
I mean, it's remarkable what Puka's done, and the fact that he's been going throughout the entire season, game by game, with such consistency of playing at such a high level. I think my rookie year, there was just waves, right? You'd catch fire in one game, and then maybe the next game you're not nearly as productive. But the fact that he's been able to be so consistent game in and game out has been unbelievable to watch. He's definitely deserving of the Offensive Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. The fact that he broke all those records, man, I'm just excited to see what happens in year two. Because typically what happens is they say you get about 20 to 30% better from your rookie year to your second year. So I can't wait till next season to see what he's going to do.
Austin, your rookie year, your quarterback's Peyton Manning. You got Marvin Harrison, one of the greatest of all time, out there as a receiver as well. Puka comes into the Rams. He's got Cooper Kupp out there, who was healthy at the time, missed some time during the season, which gave Puka some extra throws probably, but Matt Stafford's playing very well. How hard is it for a rookie to go into the NFL in that first season and make an impact? How hard was it for you, and how hard is it for a guy like Puka?
I mean, Puka's making it look easy, a lot easier than I did, right? Like it was very difficult, right? There's so many factors that you're dealing with. One, you've got to learn the playbook, which, no knock on BYU, but the offensive playbooks in the NFL are light years ahead, right? There's so many other things that you got to worry about, right? I mean, I remember bringing it home for the first time, and I mean, it was about like that thick. And each one of the calls has about 3 different names that go along with it, and different checks, right? So then you're having to learn protection. I never had to learn that before, right? And I'm sure Puka does, being in the slot so much and having to deal with pressure, and running hots and et cetera. Like, there's just, I just remember there was a million things going on in my mind. I mean, there were points in time when I would be mid-route, still trying to grab, out of the clouds, what my route was, right? Because there was just so much. So, for me, again, that's why there's, ebbs and flows of games that you're feeling, and games that maybe, you didn't have the relationship going, or maybe, another receiver got on or caught on hot, right? Like, we had Reggie, we had Dow, we had Pierre. And so, the fact that I just go back to the fact that he's been able to do this game in and game out is amazing. It is amazing. And to be able to do it as a rookie, having to deal with learning a new playbook. I mean, the guy's playing like a 10-year vet right now.
Puka went on the
super comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Puka went on the Pat McAfee show and admitted that there are times where he doesn't know exactly what route he's supposed to run as well. And Cooper Kupp will just tell it to him in the moment, almost as it's being snapped, which is very relatable and pretty human, right? Okay, in the NFL playoff conversation, Puka's in the playoffs. Fred Warner and the Niners certainly a favorite to get back to the Super Bowl. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you see the colors of the logo of the Super Bowl, it looks like Niners-Ravens, if you've heard that one, which is pretty funny. They put out an alternate logo the other day, so people are like, oh, it might be something else. Who besides Fred is the most likely Cougar to make the Super Bowl?
Oof. Do we got anybody on the Ravens? We got Kyle.
Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest with you, I think the Ravens are hard to stop right now. In the NFL, because the season's so long, it's not necessarily the production that's gone on from game 1 to game 2. It's how you hit the end of the season with what momentum. And right now, the Ravens are they're in it. They're in a groove. And what you do not want is, you don't want a team as good as the Ravens, with as much talent as the Ravens have, to start to get that swagger, which is what they've got, right? to start to develop that belief that, hey, every time we touch the field, no one is going to beat us. We will beat any team that you put in front of us, because that's a hard team to play if they end up having that mindset. So, I mean, I'm with the conspiracy, man. I'm and if I remember correctly, it's going to be the Niners and the Ravens, bro. Like, that's, I mean, the Niners are a hard team to beat. Brock Purdy had his crappy game, right? You need one of those a year. Brock Purdy was playing way too well not to have one of those a year. He got that out of his system, and now he's getting ready to roll. So, Niners are a hard team to beat, pending any injury, right? Knock on wood, and the Ravens as well.
The great Austin Collie with us on BYU Sports Nation. One of the interesting off-season stories here in Provo for BYU and heading into camp in March is receiver Keanu Hill making the transition to the tight end spot. How do you see that going, and can he make an instant impact at tight end this fall?
I got to be honest with you. I think it's a fantastic move, right? I think we needed a little bit more depth in the tight end room. I think Keanu is an exceptional talent, big body. Training this offseason, just watching him move, man. I mean, he's for how big of a body he has and what good he is. He is in space. I mean, the kid's a freak athlete. I only think that's going to be. We all know that the athlete or the tight end group, not that athletic of a group, right? I mean, watching Dennis Pitta run around, it's a little questionable. A little questionable as what type of athlete they're in that room. So I think Keanu's going to go right in there and kind of take off. Honestly, again, he's got a great spatial awareness, which you need as a tight end. He's got a big body. He moves extremely well for how big of a body he is. And I honestly think that adds a very unique wrinkle into the BYU offense of what they can do with him.
A lot returning in the receiver room, the likes of Cody Epps and Chase Roberts and Keelan Marion and Parker Kingston, perhaps Darius Lassiter if he gets another year. That feels like that's a loaded room. What kind of jump do you expect from them?
Yeah, I was just talking to Chase and Parker the other day, man. I'm really excited about that group. I think with the additions of Keelan and the others, they've leaned out a little bit, as we know Dom left, but I do think the core group of guys, man, just one more year in this offense, especially for those newcomers. Cody getting healthy, Parker, he was a true freshman or a freshman last year. For 1 year, each of them all having at least a year of experience together in this system is only going to pay dividends, right? And again, having Cody Epps back is going to be huge. Coming off injury, I know he had a nagging hamstring injury that was bugging him all year, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to work with him. I'm excited to see what kind of leap is made.
Let's put yourself in the offensive coordinator's seat now that the transfer portal shopping season is well underway. What piece are you looking to add or two for next season, even if you don't get him for spring? Guys are all back in school now, but you can get him for summer and get him into the fall camp. Who are you looking for?
I mean, to be honest, we need a QB. I think we've said this from the get-go. We need someone that's either going to push Jake or replace him, right? I love Jake. I love the way he played. I thought he brought a very unique dynamic and kind of spark to the BYU offense last year towards the end of the year. He's got great ability to create under pressure and broken plays, which is kind of what I think this offense is kind of centered around or relies upon a lot, which is maybe what we didn't get with Keaton. But we need someone that's going to push Jake, right? That's going to compete, as we said before, as Trevor said before, competition is great for the improvement of everybody, right? And you can only get better in an environment of competition. So I think, if there's talks of Gary Bohannon coming here, I think that would be a great pickup. But we at least need somebody to push Jake and get him better throughout the summer camps, if not replace him.
One of the biggest issues, if not the biggest, was the offensive line. They've replaced, with TJ Woods as the new head coach there. What kind of difference do you think he can make, and do you expect that O-line to be back to kind of what it was?
Yeah, I mean, let's hope it's a lot better than last year, right? Again, this offense relies heavily on the run. I think, having LJ back, again, being his second year, he's going to feel a lot more comfortable, be a little bit more decisive, especially if he can trust the guys in front of him. And I think ultimately that's what it's going to come down to is building a level of trust for the QB, making him feel comfortable. Last thing you want is a quarterback back there feeling a little bit insecure about his backside and what type of pressure he's getting and being uneasy, right? And feeling like he's always got to escape the pocket. So, I don't know much about Coach Woods, but I've heard nothing but great things. I think the only way up, or the only way is up, right, at this point from what we saw last year. So, again, it's going to be absolutely crucial, the run game. Our offense relies heavily on the run game to get things going, not only on the ground, but in the air as well.
Hey, Austin, why don't you turn the heat up in your house? It looks like you're dressed for the winter storm that's not quite here yet.
A little cold, Dave. A little cold. A little cold, Dave.
Well, thanks for the time, Austin. We appreciate it, and enjoy the NFL playoffs, man.
All right, gentlemen. Have a great day. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man.
Austin Collie. Rise and shout. Let's go.